My name's Kyle. I'm 24, live alone in a one-bedroom apartment just outside of Portland. Not in the creepy part of town, or anything, just your typical quiet, slightly damp Pacific Northwest neighborhood, where the loudest thing at night is the hum of passing trains and the occasional drunk raccoon. I'm not exactly what you'd call social. My world mostly revolves around my job in gaming and lurking in internet forums, especially the weird ones. The ones that feel like you've stepped a little too far off the digital map. It started last Friday night. I was 3 hours deep into a Reddit rabbit hole when I ended up in a thread titled, "The Red Ritual Only Play If You're Truly Alone." It had barely any upvotes. No comments. Just one user who posted it a few hours earlier. Their username was something like NoelMirror88. The post read, "This ritual game only appears to those she chooses. If you see this link, you've been marked. Don't click unless you're ready to know the truth behind the screen." There was a link below it. Just one. It led to a .onion site buried deep in the dark web. Now, I've seen my share of AR and horror bait. Stuff like this usually turns out to be art projects, promo campaigns, or some edgy teenager looking for attention. Still, something about it felt different. Not flashy, not desperate, just still, like it was waiting. Out of morbid curiosity and a lot of boredom, I fired up my Tor browser and clicked the link. The screen went black. Then a slow red text fade in. The red ritual begins. 2 rules appeared next. If you see her, don't blink. If you hear her, don't speak. That was it. The screen stayed dark for about 5 minutes. No jump scares, no riddles, nothing. And then, game over. Thank you for playing. I laughed. That's it, I muttered, already feeling the anticlimax set in. I closed the browser, shut my laptop, and went to brush my teeth. My apartment felt just as boring and harmless as it always did. But when I turned off the bathroom light and walked back to my bedroom, the ceiling light flickered once, twice, then went completely dark. A few seconds later, it blinked back on. In that moment, with nothing but a low hum in the air and my own breath too loud in my chest, I felt something subtle shift. Like the game hadn't ended. Like it had just started. I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe the light flickered because of the storm warning earlier. Maybe I was just on edge from too much screen time and not enough sleep. But when I turned to close the blinds, she was there, outside my window, 3rd floor, no balcony, just standing. A woman in a red dress, long, like something you'd wear to a funeral in the 60s. Her hair hung straight and black, not blowing in the wind like the tree behind her. She didn't move, didn't blink. I froze. 1,000 thoughts screamed through my head, but none loud enough to make me do anything. I just stood there, staring, until my dry eyes started to burn. Don't blink, the rule. From the game, I couldn't look away. Seconds passed. Or minutes. I don't know. And then, just as silently as she appeared, she was gone. No footsteps, no sound, nothing. I slammed the blinds shut and backed away, heart pounding like a drumline in my throat. I checked the door, the windows, the hallway. Everything locked, everything quiet. But the quiet wasn't normal. It was still too still, like the apartment was holding its breath. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I tried to laugh it off. Told myself it was a hallucination, sleep deprivation, a trick of the eye. I even Googled waking dreams and visual migraines, just to calm myself down. But by sunset, the anxiety came crawling back, the kind you feel in your chest before something bad happens, even if you don't know what. I closed all the curtains early, left every light on, put on a podcast just for background noise. Midnight came. I was lying on the couch, pretending to watch something, when I heard it. Knuckles tapping on glass. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, rhythmic like a lullaby with no melody. I didn't want to look, but I knew. I already knew. I pulled back one corner of the curtain, just enough to peek. She was back. Same spot, same dress, same empty stare. But this time her head was tilted slightly, like she was listening for me. Don't speak, don't blink. I pulled the curtain shut, dropped to the floor, and crawled to the hallway. Every instinct screamed run, but where would I even go? Who would believe me? I spent the rest of the night sitting in the bathtub with the door locked, holding my breath every time the floor creaked. Morning came, she was gone. But I knew this wasn't over, because the game wasn't a game anymore. The first thing I did that morning was open my laptop. I had to get rid of it. The game, the file, the link, everything. I didn't care if it was malware, some twisted prank, or something else entirely. I just wanted it gone. I opened the browser history. The link was there. Right at the top. Read ritual begins. I clicked it again, this time out of desperation, hoping there was some kind of undo or exit buried in the code. The page loaded. Black background. Same as before. But instead of the rules, a new message appeared. You've seen her now. She sees you too. The cursor blinked. Waiting. I typed. How do I stop this? A pause. Then the reply. You can't. The screen started shaking, glitching. Letters rearranging themselves. Code flickering behind the black. My heart raced as I reached for the power button. But before I could shut the laptop, another line typed itself out. Running is rude. Kyle. I slammed the lid closed. Like that would somehow make it all disappear. My reflection on the screen looked pale, twitchy. Not like me. I tried deleting the browsing history. The Tor browser even went into the system registry to wipe everything, but every time I restarted the laptop, the link reappeared on the desktop. Worse, it now had an icon. A red woman's silhouette. That night, I went to stay at my friend Mason's place across town. I didn't explain why, just said my power was out. He didn't ask questions. Mason's the type of guy who plays horror games for fun and laughs during jump scares. I figured if anyone could help me make sense of this, it was him. We booted up my laptop together. He didn't believe me at first, until he saw the icon for himself. Dude, this isn't normal, he muttered, now clearly unsettled. It's not a program. This just looks like it's baked into your system. What does that mean? I asked, barely keeping my voice steady. He shrugged nervously. Like deeper than root bell. You'd have to wipe the whole drive, maybe even replace the hard disk. But then, something happened that made both of us go cold. Without us clicking anything, the laptop powered itself on again. The screen went black, and a new message appeared. He can see her too now. We both jumped back from the desk. Outside, in Mason's backyard, something moved. Just beyond the patio lights. We rushed to the window. There she was, standing in his yard. Same red dress, same black hair. But now she was smiling. Mason whispered, "How the hell is she following you?" I couldn't answer. I felt like I was going to be sick. Back inside, the laptop chimed. One final message appeared. Every night from now on, a choice. See or be seen. I didn't know what it meant. Not yet, but I could feel it. Something was coming. Something I couldn't escape just by running. It wasn't just a game anymore. Now it was personal. And that night, when the screen lit up again with the question, see or be seen, I hesitated. My hand hovered over the trackpad, shaking. Mason had already crashed on the couch, earbuds in, blissfully unaware that something wrong was waiting on the other side of that choice. I had no idea what would happen if I picked either option. But somehow, see felt less terrifying than be seen. It sounded like control. It sounded like maybe, just maybe, I could fight back, so I clicked it. The screen flashed white. For a moment, I thought I'd broken something. Then, a message faded into view. You chose to open your eyes. Don't look away. Then silence. Nothing else. No image. No jump scare, just darkness. And the sound of my laptop fan, humming like a heartbeat. I shut the laptop. And immediately, the lights went out. The whole house. Pitch black. No wind. No thunder, just gone. I called for Mason. No answer. My phone's flashlight flickered to life, and I tiptoed toward the living room. But the couch was empty. Dove blanket. No shoes. No Mason. Gone like he was never there at all. Then I heard it. Not footsteps. Not a voice. Breathing behind me. Slow. Inhale. Exhale. Deliberate. Hungry. I spun around. No one. Just a hallway. Stretching longer than it should. Like the walls were warping. Stretching. Swallowing the shape of the house. My flashlight flickered. When it came back on, she was standing at the end of the hall. Closer than ever. The red dress was frayed now. The fabric unraveling like paper dipped in ink. Her face was still unreadable, but her hands were reaching. I ran room to room. Nothing made sense. The floor kept changing. Carpet, tile, wood, then back again. The walls were breathing like lungs, pulsing in and out. I wasn't in Mason's house anymore. I wasn't anywhere real. That's when I realized choosing C didn't just mean I could see her dot. It meant she could show me her world. And I was inside it. There were mirrors on the walls now, all of them fogged. Every time I passed one, my reflection stayed behind, watching me go. Eyes wide, mouth open in silent warning. I reached for the front door, pulled it open, and found myself back in my apartment. Not just back rewound, same Closed same night. Laptop open. Curtains drawn. It was as if I'd never left. As if Mason never existed. But the icon on my desktop had changed. It now pulsed like a heartbeat. And when I hovered over it, the name was different. No longer read, "Ritual begins." Now it simply read, "Yours." I didn't sleep. Again couldn't. Because now I knew the truth. There's no stopping her. No uninstalling this. The moment I chose to see her, she moved in. That was last night. Tonight, I've decided I'm done running, done panicking, done pretending this thing can be deleted like some corrupted file. Tonight, I'll play her game, not because I want to, because I have to. The icon on my laptop pulsed with a dull red glow, as if syncing to my heartbeat. I hovered the cursor over it. The name still read, "Yours." I clicked it, no loading screen, no menu, just a question. "Will you begin?" I typed, "Yes," and the room around me vanished. I don't mean metaphorically, I mean literally. One blink and the walls of my apartment melted into static. My bed dissolved. My desk warped and fell inward like paper soaked in water. Suddenly, I was standing in an old forest. Not rendered, not a game. Real. Twisted trees loomed over me. Branches like skeletal fingers scraping the sky. The air smelled like rotting wood and burnt copper. But what chilled me wasn't the forest dot. It was the fact that I wasn't alone. I heard footsteps, soft, slow, circling. I turned. Nothing dot. Then her voice whispered from everywhere at once. 3 trials. Only one exit. Win. And I leave. Lose. And you stay. The trees shifted. A narrow path opened to my left. I walked, one cautious step at a time, my sneakers crunching dead leaves beneath me. The silence was suffocating. Trial 1. A clearing appeared. In the center was a mirror. The same kind I'd seen in the hallway before. Only this time, my reflection blinked. I moved my hand. It didn't. I frowned. It smiled. The message appeared in the sky above it, written in shadow. "Know yourself, or she will." I stared into the mirror, trying to focus. My own reflection began to change. Subtly at first, then horribly. My face melted into other versions of me. Angry, scared, twisted, laughing. One version mouthed something silently. "You let her in," I whispered. "No." She forced her way in. The reflection nodded and disappeared. The mirror shattered. I passed, but the path got darker. Trial 2. A door stood alone in the woods. No walls, no hinges, just a doorframe suspended in the trees. Hanging on it was a note. "Pick the one who's still real." I looked down. 3 Polaroid photos were nailed to the ground. My mum, Mason, and me. But there was a 4th photo, burned and smeared. Her. I bent down, heart pounding. I knew this was a trap. I knew choosing wrong meant something worse than death. I picked Mason's photo, the only one I knew had been pulled out of reality with me. The forest screamed. Wind whipped through the branches, and all 4 photos burst into ash except Mason's. Trial 2 passed, but then the trees opened one last time. Trial 3. I stepped forward and found myself in my own bedroom again. Only this time, she was already there, sitting at my desk, typing. When she turned to look at me, I finally saw her face. It was mine, but not me. A version of me emptied out, hollow-eyed with a smile that didn't match the sadness in her eyes. She whispered, "This was never about a game, Kyle. You clicked. You chose. You watched. You let me in." I shook my head. "Why me?" She stood. "Because you saw me, and no one else ever does." Suddenly, everything around me began to collapse. Walls folding in, the air vibrating. I had one final choice. One final prompt on the screen. Stay. Or trade. Trade. What did that mean? I didn't wait to think. I typed "trade," and the moment I hit enter, it felt like someone punched the air out of my lungs. The world shattered into shards of light. And for a second, just a second, I thought I'd blacked out. But when I opened my eyes, I was still in my room. Sort of everything looked normal. The laptop, my bed, the clock blinking 3:03 a.m., the sound of rain outside. Except something felt off. I stood up. My body was stiff, heavy. I walked to the mirror on my wall, and I saw Kyle. Not me, just Kyle. But I wasn't inside him. I was watching. From the mirror, from the other side. He blinked. He smiled. He stretched like he hadn't just been through something life-shattering. He picked up the laptop and calmly closed it. No red glow, no icon, no warning. He had taken my place. He was me now, and I was her. That was the trade. I tried to scream, to bang on the glass, but my reflection didn't move. It just smiled back with that empty calm the way she used to. Now I understood what she meant. She didn't want to haunt me. She wanted to be me, and the only way out for her was someone else choosing to see. Just like I had. The next few days blurred together in this invisible glass-boxed prison. Kyle went to class. He texted Mason. He called Mom. No one noticed. Why would they? He looked just like me, spoke like me. He was me, except when he was alone. That's when he'd turn to the mirror, any mirror, and whisper, "Thank you," and smile. Until last night, when he opened his laptop again. When I saw him upload the game to a strange file-sharing site. When I saw him type a message. "Try this. It's creepy but cool." He sent it to a girl named Lily. She's 15. Lives in Vermont. Loves horror games. And 2 minutes later she responded, "Oh my god, this is wild. Is that real footage?" I just clicked see. My heart sank. I saw the glow return to the laptop screen. The same red that once pulled me in. And I understood. This doesn't end. Not unless someone refuses to look. But no one ever does. We always look. We always click. And someone always trades. The end.